Hi, I'm Marilyn San Clemente of Stamp with Marilyn, and welcome to my creative playground. Tonight I'm going to show you how to make this really cool tri-fold kind of a pop-up card. It looks like this. So it folds out and it's got these little notches and it can pop, oops, there we go, pops like that. So you can do this with it. You can kind of set it like that. It's a good display card, so you can set it like this for display. And it's got these two areas where you can write messages or stamp a message or a greeting. And this is one that I made with the Marion Bright designer paper, and then the tree from the Merriest Trees and the stars from the Starry Night. And then this is one that I made from the Joy of Christmas paper. And I stamped here, Peace on Earth, and I added those hollies, pieces of holly. And then here I left that open to write a note. So I just think that these cards are really, really cool. So I did a class using this card last night, and now I'm going to show you how to do the cutting for this card. So I'm going to put this here. Oops. Okay. Doesn't want to stay. There we go. Okay, like that. And I have my cutter. Oops, that's not going to work. I have to put it like this. There we go. Okay, I have my cutter. And I'm going to cut my paper to 5 1/4. By 8 3/4, not 8 1/2, but 8 3/4. Okay, and then we are going to score this at 3 1/2 and 5 1/4. So now I have this piece that looks like this. And this will form, these will be these little squares here. That will be the centerpiece, okay? And then the next thing that we're going to do, or you can take the tool from your scoring board, okay, and we're going to set this at 1 3/4. And what I'm trying to do is I'm marking these little squares. So these squares right here are 1 3/4 wide, and then the gold foil is 1 5/8, and then the designer paper is 1 1/2. So it's going to all layer. So I've marked this, and now I'm going to flip this, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I've got the 1 3/4. Okay. And then I'm going to flip this over, and you can see my 1 3/4 little mark here. You could use a pencil, but the problem is that the pencil won't show up on this side. It will show up on the underneath side, so that's not going to really help you too much. So what I'm going to do is, and I find it's easiest to stand up with this, is I have my scoring blade, and our blades have these little markings on them, so I line that marking up with the 1 3/4 inch line. And then I just go back and forth, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. So I've lined that up with the 1 3/4 inch line. Okay, and then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut from the end of this line to this line. So we're going to cut from here and go through those two score lines. And then we're going to cut from here and go through these two score lines. So we have that, we then have that square, and then we have another square here. I am going to set my cutting blade up, and that cutting blade has that same line on it. So I'm going to cut from this point to here. I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to repeat that. Okay, so then There is our piece. So now I can fold all this. So we're going to fold this like this, fold this, and fold this like this. Okay, and we're going to use our bone folder and we're going to crease those folds. Okay, and then we also want to fold that one in like this. I'm going to crease that fold as well. Okay, so now we've got our 2 squares and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little blocks that we're going to make. Okay, so for my 2 squares, I have 2 pieces of basic white that are 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to put those on. And I'm going to put the second one on. Okay, and then I have 2 pieces of the color that matches the base. So in this case, cherry cobbler. And this is 6 1/4 by 3 1/8. And we're going to score these 2 pieces at 3 1/8. And these are going to be those little pieces that fold up where you can put your notes. Okay, so there's 1. And 2. There we go. Okay, now we're going to score these. You would add a 3-inch square of designer paper to the front of this, and then this white 3-inch square would go on the inside for your messages. Like that. And like this. Like that. So there we go. That is the base for our card. So now I'm going to put this on here. Oops. Line that up. Oops. There we go. And this does have really tight margins. They are 1/8 inch margins. So just be aware of that. I like the look of that sometimes. It depends upon the card. But anyway. Okay, so now what I would do is you would cut 7 squares that are 1 5/8 inch squares. And for this, I use the gold foil, so I would want 7 of those. And then this is the designer paper, so that would be a 1 1/2 inch square. And you would put those on those 7 spots. And then you would add a piece of designer paper here, and you're ready to go with this card. So, and you can make it, you can have it fold out. You can have this piece fold in, either way. So, it looks like this. Or it can look like that, however you want it to go. And here is the other one that I did with the Marion Bright. So have fun making this card and decorating it. Take care.